Well, this week on Reliving the Extreme, we are taking a look at the episode of ECW from July the 11th, 1995. Nate Maxson with you, along with my brother Aaron.
Hello. Welcome, everybody, to Reliving the Roast of Luthez.
Yes. Little bonus there. Luthez stinks. But the man who said it, Mr. Chad Austin as well.
Reliving the Fez. I'd rather be talking about Ron and Fez. Fucking Luthez. Fucking idiot. I hope he gets plantar fasciitis. Well, he already been planted, right?
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead, right?
Oh, yeah, he's long dead.
Oh, so he did get plantar fasciitis. All right, whatever.
Yeah, Gopher's his mailman. It's all right. It's fine. He wouldn't have listened to this anyway because he wouldn't have known how to work the technology.
Oh, he would have. He would have known. He was just too busy keeping them little cameo things on his belt. Little cameo pictures.
Speaking of somebody not knowing technology or somebody old using technology, have you heard? You're on Twitter, I think. Have you seen on Twitter the guy that has? He has like AI, and he has a way to use Gorilla Monsoon's voice, and he actually has what if Gorilla Monsoon had a podcast?
Oh, it'd be SRO signs out all over the place.
Man, it is funny shit.
No, I haven't seen it. I mean, Twitter is like my secondary form of social media for me. No, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I mean, if you tag me in it, because I do check Twitter like every day, but it's normally like normally I go to the Facebook because my wife's, you know what I mean, all that shit. Yeah, but let me in on this a little bit of this action. I like to see that Gorilla Monsoon.
I'm gonna try to find one.
That could be a new segment on the show. What would the fake girl, what would the AI Gorilla Monsoon say?
Let me see here. And then, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get into our ECW episode. Which is
very good, by the way.
This guy can sue me for playing his shit if he wants me to, but I'm putting him over, so I don't think he. So let's listen to this. Just one little episode here.
Is it the guy from the fucking Israel that's on the Cornette show?
No.
Hi. Let's see. What day is it? Wednesday? All right, then. They all blend together when you get to my age. Anyway, please be sure to follow Billy Jack Horrible here, who makes these, and follow those where he talks into microphones. And here you click his pinned tweet, okay? There's good free stuff there. You'll like it. I'd like everyone to welcome back the Toddster, Todd Pettengill.
Hey, thanks, Gorilla. Man, what a great feeling to be back here, huh? It's like Andrew Dice Clay was saying.
Yeah, quiet. So, Todd, my first question is, remember when you bleached your hair?
Yeah, I remember that. It was actually Frosted Tips. It was all the rage back then.
Sounds like a cereal.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Frosted Flakes.
Anyway,
with Tony.
Hey, important people talk in here.
They're great.
You look like that guy that eats all of the food in the diners and drives or whatever.
Oh, Fury?
No. When head shrinker Fatu was talking about making a difference in 1995, is it possible he was talking about his pants? Doc Hendricks? Who the hell came up with that name? Yeah, sure, here's a guy who vaguely likes music or some shit, looks like a sleazy game show host, sounds like an asshole, and he just so happens to have the same last name as a legendary guitarist. And Doc, is that Don Dokken? Doc Severinsen? Oh, whatever, it's all bad. Highly unlikely I'm going to answer this guy's email. Gene, what's that story about Morton Downey Jr.?
Oh,
I remember this.
Goodness alive, what a disturbance this fucking guy caused.
Yes, he sure did.
It was WrestleMania 4 in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
WrestleMania 5.
What?
5, Gene, not 4.
Oh, who fucking cares? Same shithole of an arena.
Huh, got a point.
Yeah. And anyway, it's about 2 hours before the show in Morton Downey, Los Angeles, California. He comes up to me and says, hey, got any cigarettes?
He didn't bring his own?
And I said, no, only the funny cigarettes, if you know what I mean.
Oh, boy. Oh, he means the ones made out of candy.
Yeah, eat crabs, Heenan.
No clue what that means. I like crab cakes.
It means keep your damn mouth shut.
What a big grouch, especially with some tartar sauce.
So any fucking way, he says to me, well, I need some real cigarettes.
Cheap bastard.
And he goes to, I don't know, Pat Patterson or somebody, get some fucking smokes, lights one up right in front of my face. And I said, hey, don't smoke. It's a joke.
What? That's not what you said.
What? No, that's what I said.
No, you said put that...
No, you're thinking of another time.
Oh, come on, Gene. People all over Twitter were probably expecting you to say something else.
What the fuck is Twitter?
No time, pin tweet. Will you stop? Hi.
Yeah, they literally do that all with AI.
That was Gorilla Monsoon in there?
Well, yeah.
All I heard was Mean Gene. I mean, because I've met Mean Gene a couple times, and yeah, he's a cusser. But I was like, who was the other guy?
It was Gorilla Monsoon and Todd Pettengill.
I mean, Todd Pettengill got, but that did not sound like Gorilla.
No?
No, it totally did not. It did not sound like Gorilla Monsoon on my end whatsoever. I thought it was like just some other guy that just filled in. I'm just like, what? How does this guy know so much about me? You know what I mean? And I'm like, who is? It did not sound like Gorilla Monsoon at all. It didn't sound like Gino. Holy shit, man! That's some good shit. Yeah, that was funny, man. That was good stuff. But now that I really know that it's Gino,
but yeah, there's like 75 episodes out of that on Twitter. So if you ever get a chance to check it out, it's pretty funny. The episode of ECW that we're reviewing is July the 11th, 1995. And we start the episode off with our very own Mr. Chad Austin in a all-star tag team match here.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Chad teaming up with the Broad Street Bully against Donnie Allen and Dino Sendoff.
Fuck yeah, it was, buddy. I mean, I'm waiting. I'll let you guys beat me up for a minute.
Well, the ECW crowd did enough of that. And so did Joey on commentary, which, I mean, I know he was selling the point of the story they're trying to tell, because obviously anybody that watches this match start knows how it's going to end. But the ECW crowd during this match giving a "you all suck" chant to the four guys in the ring, as they're all sitting outside the ring not being able to wrestle at all. I'm just saying. But let me see, Donnie and Dino, two of your buddies, right?
I mean, at the time, we were all, reduced to that little spot in the locker room.
Go ahead.
I will say this before you guys go any further. This was one of them matches that I was allowed to book. Like, I booked a match. That's exactly what Paul wanted. You know how it fell apart?
Yeah.
That's what Paul wanted. Like, he asked for that specifically, to find a spot to where you guys start to fall apart and get the crowd to chant, "You suck. You guys suck." And, being who was in the ring, because Donnie didn't give shit. I mean, Donnie was probably my senior anyway there. And, whatever, Dino, whatever, another jabroni. Like, they were all just guys that were just hams anyway. And it was like, "Hey, Chad, you put it together." And then you call for the spot, like you booked the spot where, where the match falls apart. And that's why I booked the spot where you can see where obviously I'm standing in the ring way too long. Like about 4 seconds, about 4 or 5 seconds too long, to where they do the spot where they throw the guy into the ropes and then the dude hits me. Then I fall through the ropes kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was my booking. That was that was kind of like my signal to Paul to, like, when we do this, that's going to be the cue to, like, this match falls apart. and it's great how it does fall apart, because it actually looks so bad on TV that it actually looks kind of good, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say it now, knowing it was intentional. Good work.
Because it was supposed to come across like these guys don't know what they're doing, kind of thing. Let's get them out of there. And all four of us knew. I mean, look at the credentials that all four of us had, except maybe Dino Sendoff. Donnie's been there forever. I've been there forever. We had all been there, and we all wrestled for years. So it was like, I'm just like wondering, what did Paul really think about my work when he wants me to fuck a match up? Well, who do you go to when you want to watch a match fail? We'll go right to Chad. How can this match fail?
it takes intelligence to be able to make something not good.
Well, I mean, after I watched it, I'm just going like, damn, I was pretty solid in that. Like I booked that pretty solid. Like everything looked good right from the start, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to intentionally like Steve McMichael.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean it's crazy like how you start the match out and anybody at the ECW arena that night or whatever thinks, all right, this is just going to be the match that's going to open the night up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe one of these four guys is going to be somebody they're going to do something with, or there's something going on with one of these four guys, and then like 2.5 minutes in, it's it's a disaster. Me and Dino are bumping into each other, and then what did you want the crowd to do?
Yakety
this is
Sax
awesome.
Playing.
What's that?
I said Yakety Sax is playing.
Yeah,
people are bumping into each other. Papers are flying everywhere.
Dude, I mean, like that's exactly the way that's exactly the way Paul wanted that match to be booked. I mean, like because he wanted nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't. All it was, hey, what's up, DJ? All it was a vehicle to get the people just to start chanting 911, and it was like, all right, because that could have been one of the nights where people relate to. Because I really think they kind of gave us a little bit of time. Like a little bit more time than we would normally have, like for that situation. Because I mean, fast forward, I don't know, a month, not even a month, 2 weeks later, once me and Dino hit the ring or whatever, it was 911. So it was kind of like, all right, we're setting this up to where every time you see these guys, you just start chanting 911.
And that is what we get here as 911 comes out. And it's choke slams all around for everybody. And I did think it was funny that after the whole choke slam deal, they just showed that little clip of Bill Alfonso creeping around back there by the bushes, back by the plants at the entranceway, not wanting to be seen by Paulie and 911. But I thought that was a fun little visual of Alfonso sneaky little ass.
I don't think that actually happened in real time.
No, something maybe they filmed it later or earlier and clipped it in then.
Yeah, because I don't remember. I don't remember any of that happening at the time. Nor would it had anything to do with me anyway. Whether it would have, you know what I mean? It's not like all right now after he chokeslammed you guys 30 times, you're gonna lay there and Bill Alfonso is gonna walk out. We were never around for any information. But after I watched it, it kind of did seem like it was added, I think. Yeah. That's what I think about the whole thing.
It's not the first time Bill Alfonso was probably hanging out creepy in some bushes.
Oh, what are you going to get? Who are you going to get in the locker room more creepier than Bill Alfonso? Man, he was shut. He was shut every fucking shitty wrestling company down, but he wouldn't shut any human trafficking down. Child pornography ring. He ain't shutting that down. He works for the State Athletic Commission, not the State Pathetic Commission.
Aaron, your final thoughts on this segment before we roll on?
No, it was booked how it was supposed to be booked, and it came off good. Joey had a funny line when he was like, "Nobody's watching this," so then he was just joking around. He was like, "Welcome to WCW Slamboree, where you can't tell the talent from the legends."
Yeah, dude. I mean, I thought that was great. Of course, that was imposed, but I mean, I will totally give myself a pat on the back for being the guy that orchestrated how bad that match was.
And Joey just going, "Oh man!" This match is bad. That was funny.
It's never going to see the light of day.
Yeah, this is bad. It's never going to see the light of day.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He said, what did he say? This match is never going to air. Or this match is never going to see the light of day. And I'm like, when I'm watching it in post, I'm just like, all right, well, I did my job. I stunk the best I could.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Well, the next match on the show is our man Hack Myers against the oddly built Big Val Puccio.
Oh, good night.
Big Puccio. If you're 900 pounds, you don't have to layer up. Like he's wearing like 15 shirts. which makes it even more awkward.
And he's pulling him down like he's almost like a circus act trying to take him off. Like, you ever see the guy that takes off like 40 t-shirts? Like, how the hell are you wearing? He's underneath. He's underneath his big fat rolls.
He's
pulling down shirts.
He's shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants.
He's just shaped. That motherfucker is a shape, man. I don't know what that guy. I don't know what that guy expected, like, to come to ECW. What he thought. That's clearly he's a New York guy, an indie guy that Paul knew, whatever.
Well, but the funny thing you mentioned that, because I was drinking while I was watching this and I was stupid and curious, I actually looked him up on Wikipedia because I didn't know what the guy's story was. Apparently, he wrestled in IWCCW, of course, with some other guy, as they were a big fat team called the Undertakers. And then apparently they actually wrestled in 92 for a while on the road. They never made TV, but they wrestled on the road for the WWF, and they were called Double Trouble. They had matches with like the Bushwhackers and Natural Disasters. And so apparently this guy wrestled for the WWF, but they were smart enough to never put him on TV.
He was one of the Undertakers.
Yes.
Do you know the story about that?
I do not.
Do you know the reason why they got jobs at the WWE?
Was it because did they trademark The Undertaker?
Yes.
Ah, that's fucking crazy.
Yes. And up here in the Northeast, very familiar with these two fat pieces of garbage as the Undertakers. Oh my God, because I clamored for IWCCW. Oh my God, that was my Saturday Night Live of wrestling, and it was supposed to be taken serious. It wasn't supposed to be a joke. But I would get tapes of IWCCW, and on Saturday night when I'm out with my friends and I would go home, I'd go upstairs or I'd have everybody come in. We're gonna watch an hour of IWCCW. And I didn't know that fucking Big Val Puccio was one of them fucking jabroni Undertakers. Oh, they were terrible. And he was terrible. So imagine how bad the other one was.
He had the one that didn't make it. Jesus Christ.
The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm glad you said that, man. Because now I got to go back and find that. Because I actually want to go back and see that. And because Val looked like he was way bigger than one of them two fat fucks.
Well, this is 95. He's had a few years to hit up Arby some more,
No, I'm talking about taller.
Oh, okay.
Because the Undertakers from Savoldi's IWCCW, to me, they were always bowling pins. They were, they were always bottom heavy and but short at the same time. But yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, they were terrible. Do yourself a favor and go back and watch an hour of IWCCW a week. If you're ever having a bad day, you're not having a worse day than Eric Spracia or any of them fucking hams from IWCCW.
Aaron, your thoughts on this match or what it was?
It was shit.
What it was.
Big Coochie, he just hits like 15 like splashes in the corner. Then he
mixed splashes?
Big Coochie splash. Big splashes in the corner. Then he hits the big Coochie splash on the fucking mat, and then he misses an elbow and Hack pins him. It's trash.
No, Hack doesn't pin him.
Yeah, he does.
He rolls over and puts his arm on him.
Oh yeah.
While he's selling.
I just didn't think anything of it.
Well, he didn't pin him. He pinned him per se, but it wasn't like he rolled over after the big fucking Val Puccio splash that he missed and covered him and hooked him. He literally just draped his elbow over his big, greasy Sicilian chin. And the referee counted 3.
Yeah, I think Big Cuccio has become my least favorite wrestler. So
ever?
Ever.
On the show.
Maybe ever.
Oh, good Lord. That's saying a lot. Carly Moe.
Well, SpongeBob Puccio after this
SpongeBob Puccio.
After Hack pins him by, like Chad said, he gets the arm on him. Essentially Hack's not necessarily conscious in this whole situation. He's just reacting to the fact that this fat guy just missed an elbow beside him. So he takes the opportunity, gets the pin with the arm over Puccio, and then of course he gets another couple big splashes for his trouble.
I told you. I'll tell you what I would have done after watching that. I was a little pissed off at the fact that that's how they booked Hack against him, considering you're not bringing fucking Big Poochie Neck back. At least you're bringing him back one more time to get choked.
Well,
that's the reason why he's. What's that?
Because I think Big Puccio is coming back. I think he's going to be at this Heat Wave thing coming up. Like him and Hack are going to have a match because Hack wants revenge.
Right. I mean, so Hack does actually get a chance to give him his finish.
If what Joey was saying on this, it sounds like, because he mentions the reason they're showing it is because guys are going to have a rematch at Heat Wave.
Oh, yeah. I mean, totally.
So the Coochie's winning.
I would have had that big fat fucker like put Hack in the corner and then go for a splash, miss the splash and let Hack hit his finish. So that's probably what they did if they had a rematch. I would have been like, you ain't doing Hack any favors if all he did was roll over and by accident put his elbow on fucking Big Val fucking sloppy ass and give him the win. That wasn't really getting Hack over anymore. But if you said that he had another match, then that makes sense.
And we will most likely see that next week because that's what we'll be reviewing next week is the Heat Wave show, Heat Wave 95. So we'll find out next week if that match does take place. But Aaron's correct. Joey does hype when he goes down the card for this Saturday at Heat Wave that is one of the matches coming up.
That sold a lot of tickets.
Probably made people not show up.
Yeah, they were looking to see what Carluzzo was doing across the river.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the ECW arena, but
they got big coochie again.
They got bad coochie. No good. Mess you up. Bad coochie. If you're going to do anything with that guy, just do as much as you can without actually having any physical confrontation. You know what I mean? Why not? You have a big gigantic bowling pin there. It's like he's wearing a Fortnite costume or some shit. And, I mean, if you have access to a slob like that, then take full advantage of it. And just go out there and verbally embarrass the guy. Look at him. He's like doing the Axel. He's constantly pulling his shirt down. You don't want to. You don't want anybody. You don't want anybody to see that little hair, that tuft of hair around his side, his love handles. Awful.
Well, the next thing we get on the show here is the first appearance of the Dudleys on ECW TV. And, of course, this is the original ones. It's Dudley Dudley and Little Snot Dudley against the Pitbulls. This is, okay, I wanted to make sure. Right? This is the first appearance we've seen them, right? We haven't seen them in a promo or anything yet.
No, the Dudleys didn't. The Dudleys didn't have a debut, like a vignette debut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think so. I was like, when I was watching this, I went through my notes and I was like, well, I don't have anything on here about we've ever seen them yet. So they did this gimmick before ECW, right, Chad?
No.
No?
Raven did this. This was all Raven's idea.
Yeah, and Aaron, I mean, obviously this is a favorite of yours. What more insight do you have? And maybe I can fill in some of your gaps if you have any.
Well, I don't have any inside information on other than the fact that I just know that Raven came up with the gimmick because he was a Slapshots fan and wanted just kind of these eclectic group of weird fucking guys that were just tough and that's why they ended up. He created it or whatever in his mind, and I don't know if he booked the actual guys to do the part or whatever, but I know that he probably gave the idea to Paul, and Paul ran with it.
Yeah, do you know who the guys were? The original Dudley guys?
I mean, not their previous whatever.
Well, it was one of them was Anthony Michaels, who, if you look up about 6 months, 7 months prior to that gimmick, he was in USWA. He was definitely an indie guy. I don't know where he was from, but to me, it would seem like he would have had to have been from the Northeast for him to wind up in ECW. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He would have had to have been a New York guy. And who was the other Dudley guy? Jeff Bradley. That was a Florida guy that worked. Jeff Bradley worked the Florida Independents, and I think they may have. Have we done Florida yet? When they came to Florida?
Yeah.
So he may have been a guy that may have worked underneath at a Florida show somehow and didn't make TV, you know. And then like you said, Aaron, Raven had the characters, the Dudley Boys gimmick, which to me it's not only is it only a Hall of Fame gimmick, it's right up there with like the Sheep Herders as far as like tag teams, because you're never going to think of one without the other, you know. Right. It doesn't matter if it's Bushwhacker Luke or Bushwhacker the other guy. It's, you know what I mean? It's the Dudleys. That was always top billing. It was the Dudley brothers, the Dudley boys, and they were the first couple guys. And again, when I worked them, I had to kind of explain to them, this is what ECW is like. Because I worked one of them guys, and then I worked the fucking idiot Dances with Downs Dudley, whatever his name is. I had to work that fucking Dudley formation, and I was like, dude, this is ECW. This is what we are. This is how you got to beat us. You know what I mean? Because the other guy, Dances with Downs Dudley, he even came from IWC. Like, oh my god, why don't you just get Joe Savoldi to book this crap? But the Dudley guys, I mean, look at how far they went. You know, it wasn't long after this that you started seeing a missing Dudley.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't far after this.
I was gonna say they essentially what they did was they spend about what would you say 6 months to 8 months. And we'll get into it, but they spend about 6 to 8 months throwing shit against the wall. Who's going to work out? Who's going to pan out? And then they find their combination with Bubba and Devon.
Well, it looks to me on paper, economics. Why are we going to fucking bring in Jeff Bradley all the way from Florida? You know,
right?
$150 each way plane ticket, travel. Put him up, pay him. Talking about a $500 weekend for Jeff Bradley. you know what I mean? And then the other fucking goof, when we can just go out and basically go out in the crowd or call Johnny Rods, you know, and say, who do you got? And that's where Bubba comes in right there. Boom. Johnny Rods Wrestling School. That's where Bubba comes in at. And that's where all the fucking Dudleys that were worth their weight would come in at.
But yeah, like I said in this match, folks, it's the Pitbulls against Dudley and Snot Dudley, along with Big Dick Dudley, of course, at ringside. Aaron, your notes on
Big Coochie.
Aaron, your notes on the match itself.
Big Coochie Dudley.
Big Coochie Dudley. But going in at first, like watching the match, I'm like, this is going longer than what it should, but then I realized what story they were telling, so that made sense with Francine being at ringside and kissing Stevie, and then the big fight happens, and Raven goes away, and then the Pitbulls seem lost, and that's when they start losing the advantage. I mean, altogether, it was really actually a pretty good put together match, in my opinion.
And I'm sure Raven put all this together.
Yeah, nobody in that crowd was expecting the Dudley Boys to win, you know. So I liked it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I remember sitting in the locker room, man. That Philly crowd, they knew that gimmick as soon. Highway to Hell is what they came out to. That ECW crowd, as soon as they heard that music, which I don't think had anything to do with the Dudley with the characters, like originally. I just think like that music was so loud in that arena, and they played Highway to Hell that you could have sent fucking me and her Veste Beneficio, whatever, out there, and the crowd just would have popped. But yeah, dude, that was like that to me, I think is one of the better debuts of kind of a tag team, because it's like it's Paulie. All right, I thought about this earlier. Now we're looking at Paulie is starting to develop guys in house, right? I mean, you're no longer seeing Sherry, the Sherrys as much as or the guys that are brought in, one-time guys.
Yeah.
For the week, Road Warrior Hawk.
I was gonna say you don't got your Tully Blanchards and your Road Warrior Hawks,
right? And he's starting to develop characters, and they're decent characters, They're people the crowd got into, they got behind, and they weren't just jabroni guys, hot dog fucking Henderson, you know what I mean, or whatever. These guys had substance, they had backstory, which was important, They were brothers. They hadn't gotten to the whole inbred, I don't know, all that whatever traveling.
It's implied though. It's implied though because they say they're from the hills. So it's implied.
Yeah, I got you. If that's what they mean by from the hills, the Whitakers. For the soft white underbelly of Dudleyville. That's what they were from. Yeah, it was good, man. That was a great debut. A great original act. The crowd took to. You can't get any better than that, right?
Exactly. And like Aaron said, Steve Richards, of course, gets distracted by his number one fan, Francine, on the outside, which brings Beulah over. There's a cat fight between Francine and Beulah. And then Raven takes Beulah and Stevie back to the locker room away from ringside, which distracts the pit bulls that are pissed that their boss has left them high and dry. And the Dudleys wind up getting the win because the pit bulls are distracted. We come back after the break, and Joey has a promo at ringside with the pit bulls, who are screaming unintelligibly shit that I didn't understand.
Dude, the pit bulls are terrible.
Fucking Gary Wolf says that they are the victim of the worst two W's in wrestling or in the world. And he's like, do you know what those are? And Joey's like, I don't know. And then Gary Wolf says, unreliable and undependable.
With W's?
I didn't.
Yes. Yeah, that's what he says. He said, we were the victims of the two worst W's in the world. If he wouldn't have put double in the middle of it, it would have made sense. If he would have just said we were the victims of the worst two U's in wrestling, but he had to put two and double right next to each other, which means the same thing. So it sounded like he said W, and then Durante's like, yeah, unreliable and undependable.
Well, that's what we got you on the show for, Aaron.
Like I had to pause.
Aaron's our find the idiot department here.
Yeah,
Reliving
I had to pause it and make that.
Aaron, you don't know this, but me and Nate talked off air, and we're only keeping you around so you can decipher the Pitbull's promos. Well, yeah, we like it's time for you to go on a future endeavor with Archie. But he's like, but Nate, he went to your defense and said, but he can understand what the Pitbulls are saying. I said, let's keep him a few more weeks.
I was worried when they got rid of Belomo. I'm like, what am I gonna do now?
Shitbull stories. Jeez, whiz.
Well, the victims of the two worst W's that start with U are also in our next segment, because Joey takes us into, he goes, later that night, the Pitbulls, et cetera, and we join in progress the mixed match with Luna and Tommy Dreamer against Raven and Stevie Richards. And of course, Luna's beating the shit out of Stevie. Dreamer and Raven are doing their thing. We don't see much of the actual match, though, obviously, because the point is to get to the pit bulls.
Yeah, pretty much. Luna was just there to show that there was a star in the building. Anybody tuning in late, which I doubt there really was, but anybody who wasn't really up to speed with ECW or whatever, oh, it's Luna, who everybody loves. Ain't anybody in that locker room going to say a bad word about Luna. As far as how great she is. So yeah, just show the clip of him or her or whatever the fuck they are, beating up Stevie, pounding him all over the arena, and that's classic. You can never go wrong with Luna booking her.
So, like I said, essentially the pit bulls come out because Dreamer and Luna are getting the advantage over Raven and Richards. Then the pit bulls come out, of course, because obviously Raven thinks that they're going to help him and Richards is goading them to go ahead, Aaron.
Just to say they need that retard strength from the pit bulls.
That kind of show. Special needs strength.
The pit bulls show up and they're like, "Hey, you guys!"
No.
The Richards is encouraging the pit bulls to give the super bomb to Luna. Instead, they turn on Richards and Ravens, multiple, I guess.
No, it's probably because Aaron's right. They were stupid. They didn't know who they were telling it to turn on to. Hey, which one of you guys? That's right, Aaron. You're right. They were stupid. Which, I mean, seriously, aren't the pit bulls always stupid when they don't have a manager? They're always dumb. They were tag team champions, a couple times when they had Jason or whatever as their manager. And then after that, you got Gary losing to me. I mean, they fell apart. Fucking idiots. Gary Wolf's dead, right?
No.
I just checking.
He's still alive.
I haven't heard anything.
Eventually, it's going to work out for you.
Every week.
We got to make a promise. We got to make a. I'm recording it right now. I'm recording it when and God rest him when he does. But when Gary Wolf passes away, we have to start. I can't lead. I can't start that show. Chad has to start that show by going, Gary Wolf's dead, right?
Gonna be like a 6.5 bell salute. Just gonna enough.
Like a Walter Cronkite type thing or whatever when Kennedy got shot.
You're gonna hear a typewriter in the background.
Gary Wolf has passed away.
Yes.
At the age of 57, we have lost America's greatest hero, Gary Wolf.
The man who was the victim of 2 W's in ECW.
Oh, that's gonna be a classic episode. I don't think Walter Cronkite's gonna do it though. Yeah,
he is dead. So
oh yeah,
you're gonna have to settle for me, folks. I'm sorry. It's just the way it's gonna have to be.
Fuck Gary Wolf too.
I'll get a little desk with the coffee and a cigarette. I'll be fine. I'll look like a news anchor from 1963.
Just throw a poster in the back with the weather. It's hot in the fucking West Coast and cold on the East Coast.
And now, in memoriam, some mumbling promos from Gary Wolf.
Yeah, some fucking them little fucking people that drive their little cars at the parade. The grown men with the little tassels on their head.
What the fuck are those guys?
Oh, the Shriners?
Yeah, the Shriners.
Yeah, they wear little Turkish hats.
Yeah. It looks like a dual Farouk parade.
Yeah. Right around on their big wheels.
The Shriners are here with their fezzes.
Taker tape. Like, they're not going to hire a cleanup for that parade.
It sounds like a celebration. I don't know.
It might be.
It's turning into one, believe me.
They're throwing candy at the kids. Gary Wolf's dead.
Here's some fruity Tootsie Rolls. Here's some fruity Tootsie Rolls.
All kinds of local delegates are hammering in their fucking election signs along the parade site. Roof. Don't vote for Wolf.
Obama comes out and looks at the camera and he's like, "We got him."
Yeah.
I'm happy to announce to the American people, we got him. No more. First we got Durante, and then we got Wolf.
Yeah, Osamo da Pimple. El Durante. We got him. Your children are safe today, people.
Now that we've had we've had fun with this and my shitty impressions
of Walter Cronkite,
back to ECW. As the Pitbulls are attacking Raven and Richards,
instead of Walter Cronkite, let's make it Ernie Ladd.
Oh, Mr. Television Announcer.
Mr. Television Watcher, I have to tell you about the news.
Earlier today, when I was in my Cadillac, I observed a heinous. Yeah.
We have learned that Gary Wolf's body has been found behind the Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers. It was dumped unceremoniously.
He had just finished the 2 for $20 on his own.
He had a coupon, Mr. Television Announcer. And don't you worry about why he walked out with his bill. He had a coupon. Mr. Television Announcer. That fine, upstanding gentleman, Mr. Gary Wolf, he had no intentions of walking out of his bill and dying in the parking lot.
Died in the parking lot of a Fuddruckers.
Don't start any rumors.
Oh, go ahead, Nate. Sorry.
It's all right.
You said he was still alive.
Raven, of course, leaves Stevie high and dry, which is their gimmick brother. The Dudleys come back and attack the Pitbulls to save Stevie, and then we get your what would you call it? Your ECW insanity segment for this TV taping, because we always have to have one.
I stopped taking notes.
Where everybody's fighting around the I do the same thing. I just wrote, and ECW insanity breaks out.
Fuddruckers? Holy shit!
It's also an example of like just super quick booking. Like, we're not going to tell a story. We're just, the Dudleys are here. Pitbulls have left Raven. And now Joey's just like, oh, I guess the Dudleys are with Raven now. Here we go.
Yeah.
Don't worry about why. Just there it is.
Don't ruin a good story with the facts.
I mean, don't let the crowd tell you how they liked it. Did they shit on it?
Nope, sure didn't.
Nope, they didn't. Put out their fucking Axel Rotten Fuddrucker out there. Crowd was just, they were just salivating on what's next. Bring them on up, bring them all out. What's Puccio doing back there?
Of course, shit breaks loose with tables. Everybody's up by the Eagle's Nest. And essentially, the way this segment ends is with the Pitbulls carrying Luna around on their shoulders and the ECW crowd going apeshit. So it did, like Chad said, listen to the crowd. This whole thing did its job.
They didn't do anything.
They don't have to.
You know, walk and brawl, dude. That's the way to do it. Put a camera on them just so every fucking idiot hillbilly that's in the building can just yell something behind them while they're brawling. You're gonna be on TV. BWO, whatever, you know. Danhausen rules.
Aaron, any final comments on this segment before we got a couple little more things here and then we'll wrap it up.
Nope, just another effective. There wasn't anything on this show that hasn't been effective, in my opinion, and this worked.
But by any chance, did you see the spot where they put like Luna? Are we there yet? Where they put Luna on the table?
Yeah, I kind of whizzed past it. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Did you see how lame that was? How she just ended up in the picture,
Yeah.
like she wasn't set on the table, like after they set it up, like you could, the camera kind of caught. If you look to the left, you can see, I don't know, whoever it was grabbing Luna, and she literally just ran over and put herself on the table. And I was like, I hope one of you guys caught that she didn't get like, body slammed on the table or head smashed into the table and rolled on it. She got like brought over to the table and she just rolled right over top of it and just laid there. It's like, oh God. Somebody was yelling, "Go!"
And
home.
She's like, "I hope they get this in post, or I hope they get rid of this in post."
Yeah, that was definitely we have to go home. Hurry to fuck up. We got to go home gimmick right there. Because when I saw it, I was just hoping one of you guys would have caught it, but I guess you didn't. But when you go back and watch it, you'll see it. She just comes in out of nowhere, and just puts herself on the table. No assistance. She was tired.
Well, up next we get Joey announcing that Eddie Guerrero has chosen Taz as his tag team partner for Heatwave, as they will be facing Dean Malenko and Too Cold Scorpio. And then we just get a kind of a standard promo, nothing exciting here from Paulie, who's wearing his shades inside and talking about the match coming up Saturday and putting Taz over as Vicious, but why wouldn't Eddie pick Taz as his tag team partner, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, that's a great underlining story, right? I mean, he didn't pick me. Fuck him.
He picked Puccio.
Yeah. But that's a great underlining story. Why wouldn't I pick my enemy and my friend or whatever the fuck they say? Fuck yeah, Taz is the man. I'm going to have him on my side. I don't want to have him on the other side.
Right.
If I'm going to fight Dennis and Bobby and Jim, I want to have somebody that's just as bad as what I consider any of them guys are in a tag team match. So I'm going to get Taz. And I can imagine Taz saying, "Oh, brother, fucker." Just I can, like, why did they do a gimmick where they did anything backstage where Taz is like, "Why the fuck me, brother? Why couldn't you pick the fucking fat fuck over there?"
Yeah. You just told me Gary Wolf's still alive. I'm dealing with that.
Yeah, what the fuck? And get him out there. Get him a payday, brother. That Puccio fat fuck. Get him out there. Why you gotta pick me? All of a sudden now he's got to put on his big orange singlet. He got to change in front of the boys. Feel all inadequate when he's naked, standing in front of us.
He really is cranky. Everybody says he was.
What's that?
Was he really as cranky as everybody says he was back then?
Yeah, he was. But you also kind of like, if you hung around him long enough, that was kind of his gimmick. What's that?
Was it like funny cranky though?
I mean, if you knew him, I never saw for it. Like, me and Taz ended up becoming fucking friends, and shit. And it was always like, he bitched about everything, and he always everything's a conspiracy theory. Did you hear anything, brother? What do you know, brother? I'm like, I don't fucking know anything. I'm 5 steps closer.
It's like, let's see, if you don't know, I don't fucking know.
I'm way below you. I mean, what, you want to hear me, Joe Hargood, Donnie Allen, and Dino Sendoff were talking about over there in the fucking corner? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure word's not coming down to us what's happening with you. But, him and Paul always had that relationship where it was always like, Taz always thought he was going to get screwed. I mean, I don't even think it even started in ECW. I think it was before that. He was always kind of worried about his height. He was big enough. 230 pounds, 238 pounds, somewhere around there. He was big enough to be considered a credible pro wrestler. He just wasn't tall enough. and he could work, but he never knew that he had the mic skills until Paul brought it out of him. You know, I mean, go back and watch the old IWCCW tapes again with Taz Maniac in there with Tony Rumble. He looked, who the fuck walks around like that? You know, and the goofy ass Fred Flintstone, you know, singlet with his face all painted. You know, nobody lives like that. Who the hell do you think you are?
We close the show out with a very short but effective segment with the Gangstas attacking the Public Enemy as Public Enemy leaves the. I think they were supposed to be leaving the arena out the back. And then of course a great promo from Jack on pretty much like I've walked around South Central. I've never seen these fucking clowns. Pretty much was his assertion of the situation. But
I walked around South Central. I ain't never seen no Public Enemy. Hey, look, Mustafa, blah, 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 I don't know. Only oxygen free.
It works though. That's the thing though. It works with him. Like him being incoherent and just babbling and making the noises and shit.
He don't know any better. That's a shoot. He does not know any better. That's New Jack just saying, Mustafa, you just sit over there and you just babble. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. That's what he fucking did. And smoke crack. You sit over there and smoke crack and babble. All right? You sit over there and you diddle young kids and smoke crack and babble. All right, motherfucker. You go rob a liquor store. You go rob a liquor store. Diddle a little kid. Smoke crack and babble. You want any more?
Well, I think
fishing license.
I think we can all safely say that we enjoyed this episode of the show this week because I really did. I mean, this was a great episode of ECW, and I almost wasn't expecting it to be because usually by the time we get to the next big show, we've exhausted all the good shit from the TV taping. So you expect that last show to be a hunk of garbage, but this was actually really good. I didn't, like Aaron said, there was nothing on the show I didn't dislike.
Somebody was finally smart enough, and that being Paul, to figure out that maybe we shouldn't do all of our great shit at the beginning. Maybe we should save some of it to get those last minute people that might not want to fucking show up. Like your blow off show, your pay-per-view shouldn't be a fucking wet fart. It should be a fucking exciting thing to get people to show up, you know? All finally figured it out.
Yeah, dude. It definitely was it was a night and day from the last just couple of weeks alone, not even to mention the last couple of months. Because I was telling Jess, I was like, I told her at dinner tonight, I literally said, I don't know how to rate this show because I'm so used to giving it a fucking go fuck yourself, or I'd rather be diddling a fucking kid with fucking Mustafa, or they're always just terrible shows. But I'm like, dude, the show was actually fucking good. Like I didn't mind the 40 minutes of watching it, going, wow, that was decent, man. That was solid. And let's hope this is a trend in the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we finally got rid of the Todd Gordon Cabrini bullshit vibe, and we're actually moving into ECW.
I mean, clearly we have to. All them. We're the only guy pretty much left out of the whole entire. The only couple guys that are left out of there that weren't stars there was me and Donnie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Sandman is probably the longest reigning original guy, and he was there even before fucking fat ass fucking Dreamer was. I don't know why he don't walk to the ring eating a soft serve. Fucking Dreamer. That guy's fucking unbelievably fat. Jesus Christ almighty.
Well,
we came a long way, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, and it's only going to get better now. It really is.
Yeah, clearly.
The players are in place at this point. Sabu will be back soon. All it took was for Shane Douglas to fucking go away. Look at that.
I know, right? Shane Douglas disappears, and all of a sudden your television's good. Then he's off to go ruin somebody else's television.
Then 6 months later, he leaves that company and it gets good again. Like,
yeah, you've already fucked up our shit.
Yeah. And then he shows up in WCW like years later, and the company folded. Everybody blames Mr. Still Shane Douglas.
I always thought that I was the fucking company killer. Because every company that I ever went and worked for, like towards their dying days, as soon as I worked for them, they folded. Maybe it's not me, it's Shane.
It's Shane.
He's the Luthez of his generation.
Oh, dude, how great would it have been instead of when they gave him the NWA belt, like the 10 pounds of gold globe, they would have gave one of them old Luthez belts that we were talking about earlier. The one that just looks like he's got hard-boiled eggs on it around his waist. Like how credible would ECW have looked if that was the belt that Shane would have won?
Throws it down and it doesn't even bounce.
It cracks because it is hard-boiled eggs that are painted, and it says Funk Rhodes Briscoe. Now that's a Saturday Night Live skit right there. How cheap ECW cheap is. They gave him a belt with 8 hard-boiled eggs on it.
Well, everybody, we're going to sign off now. I want to thank you all.
They call it the Cool Hand Luke.
That's it. We're out. We'll see everybody next week. Have a great week, everybody.
He ate a bunch of eggs in the movie.
I know what he fucking did.
He couldn't eat 52 of them.